guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk all about self-driving cars. This has been a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a while, and it's been something I've been thinking about for a long time because if you did not know, I can't drive, and the main reason is because I have a visual impairment. I have Hemianopia, and if you do not know what that is, it is basically I have a 50% field cut in both of my eyes on the right side, so like I basically don't have any right peripheral vision like at all. And that is important when driving. Like, you need to have your peripheral vision, and I don't have, well, I have that on my left side but not my right side, so unfortunately I can't drive. I also have cerebral palsy and epilepsy, so those do make it harder as well, but the one that like really was the final strike to my hope of driving was finding out that I had Hemianopia when I was like either 14 or 15. It was my freshman year of high school, so I went all the way across. I was a freshman year of high school thinking that I would be able to drive, so finding out that was definitely hard. It was, it was hard like living my life like feeling like I could see, with glasses, and then all of a sudden realizing, oh, I actually am missing a lot of things in my world, even though like this is all I have ever known. So for me it's normal, but yeah, it was definitely hard to heal, but there was so a lot of hope that came with it because of the hope of self-driving cars. And I remember my orientation and mobility instructor told me, like, Megan, like, you'll be able to drive one day. And I remember when she told me that, I was like, really? Like, do you really think that? Because like it's like one of those things that I feel like a lot of people, like, I won't speak for everyone, but I'll just speak for myself, of course, that is the one thing, if I could choose anything that I can't do, it would be like driving. I would do anything to be able to drive. That's just like the one thing. If I could choose anything I can't do, it would be driving, because like I'm the kind of person that like I don't like to say I can't do things, but like driving is obviously one of those things that like I literally can't do. But yeah, it would be driving, just because it would give me so much freedom. Like, it would change my life in so many ways, and I'll talk about that in this video. And with anything in life, like, I know driving is not all sunshines and rainbows. Like, of course, like, there's traffic, there's bad weather, like snowing, storms, like, you do not want to be driving in that weather. It's not always perfect. And I understand why people, complain about driving. I do think, I guess from my experience, I guess like people in my life, I do think a lot of people take it for granted though, because they don't realize, like, in the moments when, they just, decide, oh, I want to go Target, oh, I want to go Dunkin' Donuts, like, I'm just gonna get in my car and go. Like, I can't do that. And even where I live, like, if I did want to go somewhere, like, I would need to call in advance, so I wouldn't be able to do like last minute, like, can you please take me to Target? Like, no. That wouldn't be possible. So I feel like in those situations, like, people just take those moments for granted. It can definitely be hard when I hear people complain. Like, I almost, like, I know it's normal, and I just wish sometimes they could do it that when I'm not around them. It's kind of like how I think about it is, I remember when I was in high school, I had a teacher who broke her arm, and ever since then, like, she would come into class and just complain about like things that are hard for her now, and I was just like sitting there being like that's my life, like having really only one arm to use, and you're just standing there complaining, and I have cerebral palsy, and it was just like really rude. So for me, it's kind of like the same thing when people like are playing right in front of me about driving. It's just like, I understand, but could you like please do that not in front of me? Thank you. I don't know, maybe that's just me. It's just like really frustrating, just because, you know, I just would love to drive. Like, maybe that's not everyone would want to drive, but I just know like it would just make my life easier, and I will explain why. You know, and that's why I am just like so hopeful for the future. Just imagining like me driving a self-driving car. While I do have a little bit like of like anxiety about it, I still have like so much excitement, and also I'm just like, I don't want to get my hopes up too much, because you know it's gonna take a while. I still know it's not gonna be like next year. Like, even though I know they're doing trial runs on self-driving cars, and I have seen, you know, other people like driving in a self-driving car for a test, like I know there's still a long way to go, so like I'm not gonna get my hopes up. And also like I just think if someone like came to my house right now and was like, this is a self-driving car, like get in, and then we started driving, like I would be like low-key scared. Just because I would be afraid, you know, something would go wrong. Before I mention the reasons why I think self-driving cars would change my life, I want to just say something for those who can drive. I want you to think about something. Okay, so imagine, you know, one day you're told that you can't drive, like you can't drive for the rest of your life. Imagine, guess, you know, I'm trying to put you in my shoes, so you can't drive. Just think about like how that would change your life. Like, how would you get to work? Would you need to use public transportation? But what if there's no public transportation where you live? What will you do? Okay, maybe there's Uber, but that adds up. And in some places, like, Uber is not always accessible to people. So you may not even have that option as well. So just like that, getting to work would be a challenge. And then also just think about your everyday life, like seeing friends. Like, how will you see friends? You may not be able to see friends as much, or be able to go out and, you know, go to the movies, or like go grocery shopping. You know, you may have to now, you know, order out, order, like, you know, there's grocery services you can order your food and people will deliver, but you know that costs, you know, a good amount of money. So there's so many things that I feel like people don't think about. I just really wanted to mention that, because I don't even think like I even like went through everything, because driving like impacts like so much, like even like getting to doctor's appointments, like literally getting anywhere. Like you need a car, you need to have some form of transportation, and not every, you know, place, every town has access to transportation services. So I just really wanted to, you know, say that, and really just like try to get you in that mindset of just like realizing how like lucky, how much of a gift being able to drive is, and how much of a privilege it is, and how much so many people would do anything to be able to drive. And you should just like, I don't know, the next time you're driving in a car, I just want you to have the biggest smile on your face, okay? Like, I just want you to enjoy it so much. Like, blast the music. If you enjoy music, like, why wouldn't you? If you do not like listening to music in the car, why? But yeah, I just want you to have the biggest smile on your face. Like, I remember telling that to one of my friends, like, just be so happy the next time you're driving, because it's just something I would like love to do. Like, even like once, like, oh my goodness, like talking about like a day where like I don't have any disabilities, like this is a side note. But yeah, I would definitely would drive. That would be like my number one thing. I would just be driving all day long. But anyway, so how would, you know, self-driving cars change my life? Well, first of all, as I've been mentioning so far, the freedom and independence I would get from driving. Like, I would literally be able to go to, like, actually this may be getting a list because it would be, you know, easy for me to spend a lot of money, but I could literally go to any store I want and spend like go on a shopping spree and spend hundreds of dollars, which I shouldn't do, but like that's just the point of it, you know. I'm just trying to explain, you know, things that people do. They go out, you know, going to the grocery store, like going literally anywhere, seeing my friends. Oh my goodness, like just the thought of like being able to go anywhere anytime you want it, like that thought is something I don't have, and self-driving cars would change that for me. It would give me so many opportunities that I don't have. Like even thinking about walking, like I just made a video about like how it's been difficult finding a job, and definitely not being able to drive is one of the reasons why it is difficult, because I have to think about that, the fact that like how am I gonna get there? I can't drive. It can't be too far. I have to rely on other people. Like that is another thing, is like I have to rely on other people to get me places, and it would literally change my life. Like I wouldn't have to rely on so many people to get me places, and it would just give me so many opportunities for jobs, you know, so many more opportunities. I almost feel like limited that I have to look for a remote job, but like I want to go, like be able to get out in the world, but like not being able to drive makes it harder. And then, you know, the like places of where like I could look are limited, since I don't have the freedom and choice really to be like, okay, like I'm okay driving like 30 minutes away to get to work or whatever, or you know 40 minutes or whatever. I don't have that freedom because I'm not the one driving, if that makes sense. And it would just give me so much opportunity. It is crazy. Also, the lack of transportation services is still not good. Like I have been trying to advocate for myself, for the people who, you know, live around where I live, and no, nothing has changed. Sadly, nothing has changed. So that's disappointing. But yeah, it's just another challenge for me that it's like, okay, like I can't drive, but like I can use transportation services, right? Like I should be able to, you know, I have them, but I also don't because they don't come to where I live. That's another way it would literally change my life, because, you know, public transportation, or just like the transportation services I am qualified for because of my disabilities, like they don't help me anyway since they don't come to me. So it's just like it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. And this also ties together with another thing that is challenging for me that I am also limited in, and that is where I want to live. Like where potentially I want to live in the future. Like for anyone, like if you just think about it, who, you know, don't have disabilities, like you could live in so many places. Like of course there are other factors, like you know, how much money you're making and everything like that, like, you know, of course. But in terms of like the transportation part of it, of being able to drive, like for me that is limited. For other people, like they don't have to think about that. They know, you know, they can drive wherever, you know, they want. That is another, you know, frustrating thing that I have to, you know, figure out. Another reason why, you know, having a self-driving car would literally change my life, because I wouldn't have to like only think about like, you know, the places that have public transportation, or the transportation services I am qualified for, I can think about like where I actually want to live, like what I would prefer. I have a lot of hope for the future. Like I like to think positive. In so many ways it would change my life. There also are some like anxiety I have towards it, just because I know there's been problems in like the test trials of them like testing the cars and people like driving the cars, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, like that would be like my worst fear. I feel like one of my fears of like being in a self-driving car and something going wrong. It's almost like, yes, I would love to drive. Like on this side I would do anything to be able to drive, but also on like this side I'm just like, if I'm actually like given the ability to be able to get in a car and like drive, like how would I actually feel? I feel like sometimes I don't even think about that. I'm just like, I actually think I would have some anxiety. But I also feel like I have so many questions. Like, would you still need a driver license? Because like I don't have one, and like I wouldn't even be able to like even try to get one. Like you need preferred vision, like you need your preferred vision, and I don't have that. And I could go on a tangent forever. Like I truly need to make more videos about like talking about my vision, because I do avoid it. I know I do avoid it. Like for me, I feel like the number one way my vision impacts me is not being able to drive. But like other than that, I truly don't like think it impacts my life that much. Like I have learned to adapt so well, and this is all I have ever known, so I don't know any difference. So like for me, wearing glasses, I'm just like, yeah, I can see normal, but like I can't, and I like don't always like know like what I'm missing. Like I understand I'm missing like this vision, because I can like understand, like I can see like my hand right here, but like if I put my hand right here, like I wouldn't be able to see it. Like I cannot see my hand right here looking at the camera. But I don't know, I just like, I kind of feel like I'm in between. Like I don't have enough like vision to be a single like foresighted, like what normal people can see. But I also feel like I don't like belong to like being visually impaired or like the blind community. I don't know, even though like I would call myself visually impaired because I do have hemianopia and it impacts my vision. I don't know, I could talk about this forever, but it's just like so interesting, because like I have had times where like I try to get services because of my vision, but they're like, no, you can see well enough, like you do not have enough vision loss. So it can be frustrating, it can be frustrating, but I'm just like, well, I don't have enough vision to be able to drive, so like, does that say nothing? Like, I don't know. It does impact my life like in other like layer ways, but like the biggest way is of course driving. Also, another question I have about self-driving cars is, how much will it cost? Because I'm assuming they will be expensive. So like it's not like I would even like have a guaranteed shot at like being able to have a self-driving car and be able to drive it. Like in my perfect world, I'm just picturing myself on the road with my self-driving car. Like imagine it proper, okay? Imagine me in a proper self-driving car. Oh my goodness. That would be my dream. But yeah, if it is expensive, like I'm guessing they will be. That's also another challenge, because it's just like, okay, like you're trying to help people with disabilities, people who can't drive, and yeah, it would be hard to help them if they can't even afford to even get one. But anyway, there's so much unknown about like what will happen in the future with self-driving cars, but I'm so hopeful. I'm so hopeful it will sure be a good amount of time. But it's sure a good thing, because I don't want them to rush it, of course. Like I want them to take their time, like truly like figure it out, so there's no problems. because like I said, like that is one of my fears, one of my worries of like getting into one and then something going wrong. Like of course like they can't prevent like it from never happening. I just hope that like they just like take their time so then they can, you know, decrease the amount of times it happens. Okay. Anyway, this was a topic I've been wanting to talk about, and I thought, you know, why not today talk about that. Yeah, let me know your thoughts, especially, you know, if you can't drive and you're like hopeful for, you know, self-driving cars in the future. I guess your thoughts in general, like about anything, you know, even if you can't drive, like just let me know, you know, let me know in the comments. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like, what are you doing? And follow me on social media. I will see you very soon in my next video. Have an amazing day. Bye.